Before I begin with this particular video, I wanted to talk about some of the things that we all kind of consume online and the things that we come across. Now, it's not always going to be ponies and butterflies. Sometimes you consume things that scare the daylights out of you. Sometimes you consume things that give you the little extra push that you needed, but sometimes you consume things that are someone else's experience. And I think that there's this expectation that things will be kind of the same or similar for you. And that's just not the reality. I went through a gastric sleeve surgery and my experience was good. It wasn't the best. It wasn't great, but it was good. And I didn't have too many complications. I'm doing really good with my life right now. Actually, I'm doing excellent. And I also have a great amount of success with this, but that's not everybody's reality. Some people have complications. Some people are going to come out and they're going to have things that happen in life. Like, I can tell you that, like, I went back to work, but like, imagine someone that has a physical job, right? Like, I went back to work a couple of weeks later. I had the privilege of taking time off and doing things and taking care of myself. I also had friends that checked up on me and just were here for me. So, there's that. But I wanted to start off this video and say that, like, before I watched this TikToker, I want to show her some love. Because I think that what she is saying is really valid. And I am going to stop here and there and address some of the things that she's saying. And I really want people to be careful with what they consume. So let's start.
And that your doctor is, or if you're having weight loss surgery soon, you need to be very mindful of the content you consume and the people you follow. Realize that these are not medical professionals and that your doctor is always going to be your go-to.
I really want to focus on the part where she said, be careful the people that you follow and what you're consuming. Now, I think a lot of us, like, I started off my bariatric journey and I was like, oh, it's going to be ponies and butterflies. And I had the weight loss surgery and I was depressed for months. For months, I was depressed. I couldn't get out of the rut. I was trying my hardest and I couldn't do it. And then on top of that, you're seeing these success stories of people that they're like a year and a half down. Like, I'm a year and a half down, after post-surgery. I made that complicated. I'm 18 months post-surgery. And now that I'm here, I can't even remember what it was like to be one day post-op, And on top of that, I got lucky where my skin didn't have like the stretch marks, and I was actually able to slim down and bring down all of that bloat that I had without having too many visibility factors. Like, not everybody's skin is going to react the same. So like, when you see this and you see other people and they have weight loss surgery, there's this expectation that you're going to look like them, that you're going to have the same like results as them. And I think that that's really dangerous. I know that I saw some people that lost weight and I really wanted to see the flabby skin. Like, I was so set on seeing the flabby skin because I really needed to see that. I needed to see the reality and I needed to be prepared for my body to look like that. And when you would see them, there was this one video that I saw and it was a woman, and I wish maybe I'll be able to find it and I'll link it below, but it was this woman and she she looked really great. She had clothes on and everything, and then she removed her clothes and she was talking about how she has flabby skin here, flabby skin there, there's loose skin, but overall she just felt better. And I think that the main focus for me was that you're going to look physically different, but you're going to feel so much better. And I think that focusing on that part, once everything is done, the journey, the process, like you already went through it, I think that that's really important, because so often we get stuck in the whole system where we're I don't want to say that we're like dealing with things a specific way, but we are dealing with things a specific way. So let me let her finish.
I said, when you're watching these videos, there's another person on that side of the screen. They have a way of thinking that may not be suitable to you.
Oh, yes. So the way of thinking that is not suitable to you is really important. And the reason why is because everybody has their own way of doing things and everybody reacts to things differently. So for example, I get busy, right? And if I have one day where I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't able to go for my walk today, what can I do to fix this? Whereas somebody may have like a sick child and 3 children who need to go to school, and now they're trying to juggle all of these things and it's just not working out for them. So you're going to get derailed, you're going to get off track. It's how you react to that, and you need to be aware of the way that you are. You need to be aware of your strengths, your weaknesses. Like, I know that when I am hungry, I don't act right. I don't act well. I know when I'm dehydrated, I get a headache. And then once I get a headache, I get really impatient. And so it's really important for me to stay hydrated, to have a snack around so that I don't do something drastic like make a bad choice and go and eat something bad really quick. On top of that, it's really important that I stay hydrated. It's an important thing for everybody to stay hydrated, to be honest with you. So like, it's really important for you to recognize your behaviors and your habits and the mentality and what makes you tick. For me, I think that I saw this one woman who had an extremely supportive partner who went with her, picked her up, brought her back home. He had like all of these things for her that she wanted, and he was eating, but he was also like, making sure that she was getting food as well. And I didn't have that. So it's like, it's a beautiful story, but that just wasn't my story. And I think that she has a really good point here. Like, everybody is going to react different. Everybody's experience is going to be different. Even if we were in the same room being given the same services and the same foods, we have different stressors in life that are going to make us react different.
Their thoughts, their opinions, their values may not align with where you see your future self being at. The things they say and do may trigger you as well. And also,
yes, let's talk about the triggers, because I think that for me, it was a bait and switch, right? So like, I came into this journey thinking I'm just going to go in so that I can get healthy. Originally, my thing was, I just want to get healthy. I don't want to be diabetic anymore. I want to feel good. I want to be able to go for a hike. I don't want to climb the stairs and be out of breath. And that was my goal. I want to say 6 months into it, I was like, oh, I'm here. Like, I'm going for walks. I'm exercising. I'm doing well. Back to a normal, somewhat normal eating pattern. I drink water. I'm out here at the beach having a good time. And then something flipped in my mind. And it was like, yeah, but you're still 170 pounds. You have some weight to lose. And that's what I mean by that bait and switch. I baited myself into thinking that because somebody else was healthy and they felt really good and they weren't focused on their weight, that I could do that. The reality is no. I know for myself, I shouldn't be in a large. I'm just too short. I am 5'2". I am way too short to be in a large. And I think there needs to be a good balance of your goals. There needs to be a good balance of like, why did you do this? And also, what is your secondary goal if you reach your primary goal? Because focusing on weight for me was never a goal. It was to be healthy. And now that I'm healthy, I'm like, oh, I need to be 130 pounds. Again, I was triggered. I was triggered by the fact that I saw so many people focusing on that. And then on top of that, just the stuff that I consumed. So some of these people had plastic surgery already, or corrective surgery for loose skin. And so the way they look versus the way that I naturally look didn't align. I was like, how comes she lost weight and she looks so voluptuous and so perfect and so proportioned? Or how comes he lost weight and he looks like he never even was obese? And then I had to remember, sometimes people are not being honest online. Sometimes they're saying they had weight loss surgery, but on top of the weight loss surgery, they went and had some body modifications. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's your body, it's your money, it is your life. Do as you please. But also remember that there's somebody on the other side of the screen that's watching you, and they are going to get the wrong representation of what weight loss does to you. On top of that, everybody's body is different. I have really good skin elasticity. I'm I also did a lot of body oil. I don't know if the body oils worked or not. I don't even know what to tell people whenever they ask me what I used on my skin. I used a lot of Paula's Choice. I used a lot of retinol and retinol and a lot of oil. And I mean, I just live by Nivea. That's like my go-to. I literally stay my skin is well moisturized all day, but also like the hydration part.
Realize people do a lot of things here on this internet for clout, for follows, for views, for whatever attention that it is that they think they're going to get.
And this is what I was talking about when I said that people are going to tell you something and then they're going to not be honest about it. So like a lot of people will be like, oh, I go to the gym, look at my glutes, right? Not telling you that they went and had a mini BBL. I call it a mini BBL. I don't know what it's really called. I think it's called like a natural BBL or something like that. But they had a mini BBL and they don't tell you that they had liposuction, and you're over here having these expectations of your body, your results, that is just not normal. I think that we need to normalize results that are healthy and results that make sense. And always question what you see online. Like when I see somebody online and they're over here flexing, and I'm like, number one, the angle, okay? The angle. Number two, you can pose to make specific body parts look a specific way. And number three, there's always body modification. And that is so common nowadays. It's affordable. It is accessible. It's no longer just for the elites and the superstars and, you know, the pop stars and the movie stars. This is available to everybody. A lot of people have access to plastic surgery now. And so just remember that.
Good and bad. And that could be at the detriment to you in your journey. These people, including myself, are not professionals. They're not experts. They're not the end all be all. Even if they have credentials to back up what they're saying, because there are professional people on here, they are not your doctor. They don't know your.
And this is very true. Just because somebody has credentials and just because somebody went to all these certification schools and, you know, they are like a nutritionist, for example, and they know what you should be doing. This is for the average person. You may be an outlier. You may have your own way that your body works. I know for me, like one specific thing that I like to tell people all the time, for me, like this may be normal for everybody else. Everybody loves chocolate or peanut butter. It's their thing, right? They love to consume chocolate or peanut butter. I hate both. I can't stand chocolate or peanut butter. So when somebody tells me to eat more protein and do it in the form of a shake, and then they're like, well, just drink a chocolate shake, and I'm like, that's disgusting, I hate chocolate. And then they're like, well, just do the peanut butter, and I'm like, I hate peanut butter too. What else is there left to do? I'm gonna have to find another way to get calcium into my body, because the two options that I was given, I just despise both of them. And I physically not like, I get nauseous at the idea that I have to drink a chocolate shake or anything with peanut butter. I'm just like super disgusted by it. So, you know, again, yes, it's good for you, but is this realistic? Like if a nutritionist is like telling, if you have Joey and me next to each other, and Joey's like, I love chocolate, I love peanut butter, and he's just like, yeah, I'll do this every single day. And then there's me. I can't, the idea of me drinking chocolate and peanut butter on a daily basis grosses me out. So that's just one way that this might not, a solution is not a fit for all. It is definitely very individualistic. And sometimes you may fall into the majority of the population who loves chocolate and peanut butter, but you might be like me, where I just, no, anything but that.
Medical history. So take the content for what it is and just bring it back to your doctor. And if you're having surgery in 2025, drop your surgery date and let me know which procedure you're getting.
So I'm not having surgery in 2025. I definitely already had surgery. But I think that she makes really valid points here in saying that everything is very individualistic and everything is for you and you only. And I would love to sit here and say that there is somebody out there who went through the same experience as me. We went through similar experiences. We had the same type of surgery, but even our bodies internally were different. Even the way that we prepared for this was very different. I went on a liquid diet for like a week and a half, whereas other people have had to be on a liquid diet for way longer. There's some people that just went on a liquid diet for like a couple of days and they were fine. And that's same surgery, different ways to prepare.
I'm getting VSG surgery on July 21st, but my liquid diet starts on July 7th. And I'm very nervous. I work from home and I'm my own boss.
Ooh, that is so dangerous. Like, I know the best thing that I could have done whenever I was working from home and preparing for my surgery was I just threw everything out. I threw everything out. I left myself with no type of options. I just went ahead and tossed everything one day. I felt this was it. And I don't even remember what I threw away, because it's like I broke up with that. I broke up with those foods is what I'm saying. But I had a lot of junk food and I threw it out. On top of that, I will say that getting rid of temptation, even though I had temptation, it was hard. Liquid dieting is hard, you all. It is one of the hardest things that I've done. It is torture. You're starving yourself essentially, and you're doing this voluntarily. So it's really hard.
So I'll be making my own hours. And I want to know from people who have had this diet already or been through this process, do you think it's easier to avoid being out on the town, or do you think it's smarter to like hole up in your house?
So I'm going to say that I basically had surgery right before the holidays. I had surgery on the 29th of December, and it was right before Christmas. So I was watching all of these people having these wonderful meals and everything. I just stayed away from everybody. I self-isolated. I know it might not be what people want to hear. I know it's toxic a little bit, but I self-isolated because I needed to mentally. I needed to be with myself, with my past. I needed to mourn the person that I am now, because I'm not going to be this person ever again if I go through with this surgery. And then I was also struggling with doubts, and I didn't want somebody to try to talk me out of it or like tempt me, because it is really easy when you're going through the holidays and there's all this food everywhere. It is just so tempting to be like, oh, it's just one bite here, it's just one bite there. That one bite could ruin the whole process for me, and I'm that kind of person that doesn't have the discipline to just stop at one bite, which is how I ended up gaining all that weight. So I knew myself. I knew that I could not handle being around people. And so I chose to just self-isolate and stay home. I also didn't want to be out and about. It was really difficult for me that the smells were triggering. We were talking about being triggered in the previous video. That's very triggering for me. And so I didn't want to experience that. I have this love for coffee and carbs and bread. Bread is like one of those smells that just brought me comfort every single time that I would go around it. And I had to learn not to be around it. And so even going to like the bakery was triggering my brain to have like that feeling of like, I want to release those good hormones. So I just didn't go. I stayed home.
Because I truly don't know what I'm going to do, because I feel like I'll be too tempted by outside things, but I also could be like bored out of my mind and constantly thinking about food and all that stuff inside my home. So I have a pretty big TBR, and I might just do a lot of reading. I don't know. Let me know.
So we were just talking about temptation and how difficult that was for me. And I will say that there's a balance, right? Like you got to find things to do at home so you don't get super bored. But also there's things you can do to go outside where you're not around food. Like I went for a couple of walks. I went to go enjoy the sunset. I dipped my foot in the water. It was December, so it was a little bit colder. I'm in Pacific coast, so the water is not warm. Well, it's warm towards the south, even the Mexico part, but it's just not warm where I was at. It was a little bit cold. And also like it was very somber because it was, it was right before the holidays and people are shopping, and no matter where you go, there's like either a lot of people, a lot of food. And so I was trying to stay away from those places. Going to parks, going for walks, going to the beach was really important for me. But also spending too much time in my head was really difficult because I kept on doubting myself, and also had that feeling of failure. I had that feeling of like, you were not good enough to have the discipline to not have the surgery, and now look at you, right? So there was that mental struggle happening.
know if this is you, if you've been through the whole bariatric process, because I am dying for some feedback and definitely just someone to guide me through this whole experience.
So I'm pretty sure she already had her surgery. And for that, I feel kind of bad because I came upon this video a little bit late. But if you are thinking about having surgery and you came upon this video and you're seeing, you're having similar questions that this TikToker, Rosie, had, I can tell you that you got to know yourself. You got to know what you're strong enough to do. I'm strong enough to spend time with me and me only. And I also know that going out to areas that we're going to have food is going to be way too tempting for me. So it's very important that I don't do that and that I keep to myself. Even if I'm having that internal fight, I kept to myself, but I also kept in contact with the outside world. It's not like I locked myself away and just like shut off my TV and shut off my phone and just didn't talk to anybody. Like I had friends that I was talking to and they were so supportive and they were egging me on. When I say egging me on, they were like my cheerleaders. They were like, you can do this. And that was really important. So if you're going through a similar struggle, and if you have a family and you can't find a space for yourself, I am so sorry about that. Try to find a way. Again, you can go outside for walks. You can spend a lot of time outside in the park. You can spend time in your car. I mean, I had many days in my cars. Right before I had surgery, it rained a little bit and the raindrops just hitting my car. I mean, I have bad addiction. But even that was soothing and it helped me get away from everything. And I did overthink everything in life. And I had a moment of like, why am I doing this? But I think ultimately you just got to find that balance. Hope this video helps somebody out there.